Well, you're employed now. How's it feel?
Man, it's a big weight off my shoulder for sure. I'm happy to be a part of the team again, man. It's fun being around these guys.
How did it play out the last couple of months? Since we talked, how did it play out after that where you eventually went to the CFL?
We had a game plan behind the scenes, I feel, a little bit as far as, when we were in the spring league in Utah last time. We were going to give it probably around a month after. I always said that, obviously the NFL is where, I saw myself playing, saw myself trying to get back to. But, when that didn't happen, I fully grasped what was going on up here and wanted to make this decision that, if I'm going to come up here, I'm going to be on time, and I'm going to get in here with the rest of the guys and be just another one of the dudes. And that was the biggest thing for me, was not slow playing anything, just, hey, this is what my situation is. This gives me the best opportunity to further my career. I'm going to go for it. And listen, at the end of the day, if it gives me a chance to get back, if it gives me a chance to resume my career, I don't mind fighting for what I want and earning my spot back.
And then you're committed to 2 years. So no matter how successful you are that first year, you can't go to the NFL. A team is interested in you. Is that correct?
That's essentially what it is. Yes, sir.
How familiar are you with the Canadian Football League?
I started watching a little bit last year. I watched their championship game. I watched some of Hamilton's games last year. When you don't have a lot of time doing ball or anything like that, and you're just watching the NFL and you're watching college football, and why not throw the CFL stuff on there if that's a possibility for where I was going to be? So, I watched last year. Getting up here, I feel like I've got some of the majority of the main rules down. And now the offense is just June Jones' system that he's run forever. And I think it's very, very interesting. I think it's a nice little offensive game plan we have here.
What is a bigger difference for you, the field being wider at 65 yards or the fact that there's going to be 12 players on defense?
I haven't got there yet. Right now, the thing you notice the most is the field being wider, because when your trips are to the field, some of those throws to that outside Z or X are, definitely you definitely have to get on the majority of your throws and really let it fly. That's one thing. There is no really lobbing the ball around here because there's so much space. You really step into it and let it rip. And, I think that fits my game style a little bit. And as far as the 12th, defender goes, it just looks different. It's not what I'm familiar to seeing as far as you come up and you look at your front from defense, look at where your backers are. Things are just a little bit off because there's that extra guy. But, at the end of the day, it's still ball. You're still throwing it into the windows. You're still throwing man routes. You're still throwing people open.
I know you played in wind and cold in Cleveland, but this is a whole different wind and cold up there in Canada. You're not in Texas anymore. What do you?
Don't downplay that Cleveland weather, though. I remember having some chilly games and some chilly nights. So we're obviously a little bit further north, and that's just part of it. You play in elements. Not every football stadium is going to have an indoor. So you play in the elements. You play with whatever the conditions are, and you roll with it. So if you need some things to do to help better your chances of making a certain throw or staying warm where you feel like you need to be comfortable, do it. And I feel like that's how it's been anytime I've played in a cold game or a little bit different weather. But it is not the plains of West Texas or, down in College Station, that's for sure.
He's Johnny Manziel, the Hamilton Ticats quarterback. You're listed as, are you backup quarterback to Masoli?
Yes, sir, I am right now. And I'm getting in here, and Jeremiah's been great for me. I obviously watched Jeremiah when I was coming out and did the Chip Kelly in Oregon, back in 2009, 2010. The kid can play, and he's been nothing but a pro to me so far. He's helped me with a lot of stuff, and really the progression that I've made in a couple of days has been from watching him. From the ones and watching and learning from some of these vets who have been here has been a big key for me.
You almost went to Oregon, didn't you?
Really close, and the funny thing is now Chip Kelly is now at UCLA, which is where I've been working out pretty much all off season. So it's funny how he was in Philly whenever I was coming out of the draft. We had a great talk at the combine, and it's funny how those relationships you made from college coaches kind of mix and match, and they go all over the place, and end up crossing paths with them. How
close were you to signing with an NFL team? I know you worked out the Chargers, Patriots. Anybody else in there in the equation?
We did the couple pro days that we did. There was a lot of eyes there, but like I was saying earlier, I was there for some of those receivers. Christian asked me if I wanted to go to the one at A&M, and of course that's a good opportunity for them and me to help them with some of the things that I've learned being in the league. We worked out multiple times and just helping them with his outs, what he's going to be looking forward to, like going into a camp. So, we had some talks. I let my agent handle a lot of it, and if he was like, you need to be here, you need to be there, you need to do this, do that. I pretty much followed everything that he had to say. And, we vetted a lot of coaches. We vetted a lot of situations and opportunities. And when it came down to it, this was the best opportunity that I had on my plate without waiting longer and potentially missing another fall of football, because that cannot happen.
What advice would you give Baker Mayfield?
I feel like Baker's in a better situation having a vet quarterback in there, and Tyrod. There's not pressure on him to come in and start day one, and I think he's going to go into it and he's going to learn from the vets. It hurts when you don't have a guy like Joe Thomas, on the O-line, because once I started to get to know Joe and started to pick his brain, I really started to learn a lot of stuff. That guy is a legend, but he's got good people around him. He's got a great group of receivers, and trust in those guys that they have around him. That would be my advice to him. But, Baker's got the fire, Baker's got the spark, and, I think he'll do all right. But don't let the pressure of everything else that goes on, get to you. That would be my one advice. Just go out and make football the main thing, and go out and play like he's done for the last 5 years.
If I told you 5 years ago your future's in the Canadian Football League, what would you have said?
I would have said, there's probably no way that was going to happen. But when you make the decisions like I made in the past at my low points, and when I've continuously betrayed the public's trust, people around me who trusted in me and just betrayed that, it's hard getting back into the mix of things. And I sit back at 25 years old looking at the things I did when I was 21, as anybody might have, and I'm disappointed and upset with the decisions I made. But at the end of the day, I have a chance. I have life here to still continue my career and still do what I want to do on a football field. Now, is that path a little bit different than what I thought? Sure. But at the end of the day, I still have a fighting chance. I still am young. I can still go out and play, and I'm going to fight and work my way back to where I want to be. And I know it's a long road ahead, but at the end of the day, I have a road. There was a point there in the past where there was no road. It was just cutting through the woods. So, I feel better to have a path today and have a clear understanding of where I am, for how long I'm going to be here, and I'm back around with the guys.
You seem older than 25. Do you feel older than 25?
I've been through some stuff, man. There's no denying that. A lot of it was self-inflicted. A lot of it was the craziness that came with the mania of how my career and college career kind of progressed. But for now, I'm trying to temper those expectations. I know the media is going to make it whatever they're going to make it. And, I've shut a lot of that out to where I don't see it. I block it off, and I'm focused on what I need to be focused on. And that's learning this playbook as quick as possible and learning out how to play this game at a high level, because it is a little bit different.
If I said to you, if I only did this, I'd still be in the NFL right now, what would you say?
If I only made football the main thing, if I only – cut all the things that were going on off the field and just focused on football, and really put every bit of time, whether right now, whether I'm tired and, I'm still on West Coast time and I want to catch up and get some sleep. I don't have that luxury right now. I can sleep when we're into the season and we have, an off day or something. I can catch up on some sleep when camp's kind of over. But for now, I'm behind, and I need to catch up. So if I would have done things like that to where, hey, I don't understand this all the way, sit in there and learn it until you do understand it. Don't leave. There's no point to do anything else. There's no trips. There's no luxury of anything. This game's hard, and the people who are good at this game have put in countless hours, and it translates. For the guys who do play on Sunday, Saturday, whatever it is, and go out and play at a high level, it's because they've done what they've needed to do in the week before, in the time that other people aren't working like that.
The hard part sometimes with guys when they want to stay clean or sober is that you have to tell people who were your friends or thought were your friends that you can't hang out with them anymore. Have you had to do that? And of course, getting married too. But those guys call up, and you know what they're calling up for.
Yeah, I got a wife I have to answer to. I got to keep the wife happy before I keep anybody else happy. That's just got to be my main concern. But listen, there's certain things I can't do. There's guys up here that I'm sure are talking about going out and doing stuff. But for me, I'm here to play ball. I'll get a chance to relax when the season's over. You get a bye week or something like that. But for now, like I said, I'm behind. I have certain things that I have to do to help me ensure success. And that's, things off the field, things in the classroom, things that I have to do to make sure I'm the best person I can be. And when I'm a good person and when I'm positive and when, I'm doing all right, things seem to happen, the right way for the most part. and just eliminate myself in negative situations.
We were doing some research here. You being from Texas, you're probably going to have to look for some barbecue. Paulie, what did you find for Johnny in Hamilton?
Yeah, John, you're all
Yes.
set. Southern Smoke Barbecue, Ottawa Street in Hamilton.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. I might go there right now.
We got you set up. By the way, you threw 7 touchdown passes in your NFL career. Do you know who you threw those touchdown passes to?
Oh, man. Travis Benjamin caught a lot of them.
Wait, you only had 7. You should be able to recount those.
I know there was 2 against Tennessee. I know Gary Barnidge just caught a couple. I don't know if I threw one to Hawk. I feel like I missed Andrew Hawkins a couple times. I didn't get a chance to play with JG as much as I would have wanted to play with JG, or I would have thrown some to that guy. But, good times are the times that we did win a couple games and have some success in Cleveland. I'll never forget it. It has absolutely played a part in where I'm at today for the better or for the worse. I enjoyed my time there. It didn't go the way that anybody thought it would have. I know that. I know it's disappointing, but I feel like we've all moved on. They've moved on, and there's a point in time there where I was probably a little salty and upset how things went. But for now, I wish them the best.
Did you keep your Browns jersey?
I kept a lot of my stuff. My dad is a big collector of most
good.
of my stuff, so all my stuff from A&M, every helmet I've ever played in, usually my dad is pretty proud to have that stuff at the house. He really enjoys it, so we do have all our stuff.
Well, you just made the CFL a whole lot more interesting. Hopefully you get some run there and saying all the right things, doing all the right things. We appreciate your time, Johnny. Good luck.
No, I always enjoy coming on with you guys. You're nothing but top-notch, so I appreciate your time, and have a good rest of your day.
Johnny Manziel, Hamilton Tiger Cats. Got a couple of weeks before they get started. Going to be the backup quarterback there. Got a chance. And he needs to be there to prove that he can do it on a daily basis, on and off the field. And then maybe gets another chance at age 27 with the NFL.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.